Hey everyone, so this is our next video in GraphQL series, and let's see what we'll talk today. We'll see what is GraphQL, okay, and we'll also see what is enum, what is interface, what is union, and fragments, okay. So let's see. In the previous videos, we have seen what is query, what is mutation, what is subscription. If you have not watched our previous video, I'd like you to go and watch the previous videos. But the one-liner answer is query used to get something, mutation is used to create, update, or delete something, and subscription if you want to subscribe something or some event, then you can use subscription. And the simple type, this is how it is defined. And today we'll see how we can, while defining the type, how we can use enum, how we can use fragments, or how we can use union and interface as well, okay. And a simple mutation looks like this, and a simple query, so a typical full schema looks like this, where we have this query, mutation, subscription, okay. And mutation can be for create, update, delete. Subscription can be for new person adding or updating on the record, or query is used to get single record or all the records. Now we got multiple queries from multiple users, so we wanted to answer those. So does GraphQL supports offline users? So GraphQL is a query language for web APIs, and in that sense, by definition, only works on online, not offline. However, offline supports on the client side is a valid concern. The caching abilities of Relais and Apollo might already be enough for some use case, but there is not popular solution for actually persisting stored data use. So it's based on library to library, but mostly it is not possible. But you can check the different libraries that is supporting GraphQL. They might have given some solution around it. And how it handles error. So in the response, you can check the errors. Okay. So whenever if you'll fire any query or mutation or subscription, if it has any errors in the JSON format, you can get those. So GraphQL, many times people get confused this with GraphDB, but it is not GraphDB. It is not a database technology. It is a query language, and it is for APIs, not the database. Okay. GraphQL gives enormous power to clients, but with great power comes great responsibilities. So the client needs to handle or file the queries properly or appropriately. With GraphQL, clients have the ability to craft very complex queries, and our servers must be ready to handle them properly. These queries may be abusive queries from malicious clients, or maybe simply very large queries used by legitimate clients. So in both these cases, the clients can potentially take down your GraphQL servers. Okay. Now, how we can define enum in GraphQL? So in GraphQL, you can define enum like this, as you can see on the screen. And this is how I think in Java, same, or I'm not sure about other language, but in Java you can define the enum like this only. Interface defined with interface keyword, and any other type can implement that, and which means whatever is in the interface will be available for the implementing type as well. Union types, as the name suggests, if you want to add one or more type. So for example, here adult and child can be mapped, can be union with person. Okay. And so the fragments last. So fragments, so like if a type has a long list of values, so you can fragment it, like the address can be fragmented, as you can see on the screen, for the user, and the same now in the next line at the bottom, where I'm putting the mouse cursor, you can see the fragmented parts is used. So this is all for today, and yeah, some important thing is how to get the query schema. So if the client doesn't know what schema looks like on the server side, and if there is no document available, you can use this to get the schema. Okay. And the same can be seen on the Postman as well. So thank you viewers for watching, and if you have any queries, do write to us. Thank you.